Hey guys, this will be a complete guide on how to collect the Mount Incognitro, the Indecipherable Felcycle, which is a reward from the feat of strength Ratt's Revenge. So if you'd like to see how to collect it, then please keep on watching. If you're up to date with all your secrets from the anniversary event, then you should have received the detective title today. So once you have that, you can speak to this NPC here, Dalaran Survivor, which is located right here on the map in Dornigal.
Hello.
I think I witnessed a crime, or at least a criminal. Can you tell me about it? No, sorry. I would rather speak to a detective.
Farewell.
So what happens if we switch our title?
I am listening.
Oh, okay. Go on. Ratt's Race.
Good luck, friend.
I saw a Valpyra acting very suspicious. She seemed on edge. I think I saw a knife at her side and a look of dark magic in her eyes. She noticed me staring and immediately fled. Is she a wanted criminal? She dropped this. Here.
Be careful.
If you are reading this, you must be after him too, or are you after me? Either way, the game is afoot. Are you clever enough to play? Hurry up, I think the fairy ring has gone rotten. The first part of the puzzle requires a key for the bike. So there are two parts to this. The first is the inert peculiar key, and the second is a peculiar gem. Now when you combine the two, it creates a peculiar key. So you may recall that when we were doing one of the secrets, it led us to this icy lake in Northrend. Now, you don't have to do this next part, but I just found it interesting as to how people came up with this next clue. So if you start fishing in the lake, you will fish up some interesting things that led us to the NPC in Ungaro Crater. The other interesting thing to note is if you hover over the lake, it actually forms the crater constellation. So then some of you may remember back in vanilla there was a quest line called Lincoln's Adventure. Since the Cataclysm, Lincoln is no longer there, but you will find something quite interesting if you go to that location. Battered old key, it appears to have a socket for something. This is the location right here on the map. Next you're going to head to Azkahet and pick up the first clue for the peculiar gem. Okay, so this is where I am on the map. Oh, I see something up there. Unfinished note, first clue. Okay, the unfinished note reads, think what we could accomplish together, we could finally find him. Another line was started and then crossed out. At the bottom of the page in small lettering are a few numbers. 186, 96. Oh, here we go. Second clue, which is right here on the map. Hello, Fall, Asgahet. What are you waiting for? Oh, I see it now. Water resistant note, which is right here on the map. You're persistent, I'll give you that. Fine, if you can find me, we can talk. Careful, it's a long way down this rabbit hole. I'll be watching. Oh, hello. Okay, so this is where I am for the final location. Woo! Alright. Oh, rats. Oh. Peculiar gem. So you know what that means. That means we should be able to put it together with the inert peculiar key. Let's try that now. Excellent. A battered, trampled old key, haunted with residual dark magic. The letters DR may have been crossed out. Now it's time to head back to Kara. Make sure you have your torch out so you can enter the catacombs. By the way, you can just jump down into the water, so it saves you running all the way down. So when I first entered the catacombs, I just did a bunch of exploring. When I had my little idol on, I noticed that several things lit up, and you could actually interact with quite a few things. When you run to the back of the catacombs, you go upstairs and you'll notice a room where the bike is. surrounded by a bunch of empty pillars. The trick is to find a way to unlock each one. So when you have fully unlocked one, you'll see a big glowy orb sitting on top. Pretty early on, the community had renamed these pillars according to the arms of a clock because there are 12 in the shape of a circle, so it made sense. The first orb starts with the location of an NPC in 3 different locations. First one can be found in Northern Barrens. Humble Monument. The small grave marker is lovingly inscribed with Orcish runes. Beloved Olgra, wife of Mancrick. It took me forever to find you, and now you are gone. You might need to run around this pole a little bit before the torch triggers. And you want to make sure that you have the buff before you leave, because I went to all 3 locations and found I only had 2 of the 5 buff. I did try backtracking, that didn't work, so in the end I ended up relogging, and that finally did the trick. The next location is in Draenor. This will be the location if you're an Alliance character, so that's the location right there in Nagrand. For Horde, you're going to want to head towards Riverside Post. So here we go, baby Olga and Mancrick. How cute! You can see the torch lighting up. Remember, you want to make sure you have 2 stacks of the buff by now. And then finally you're going to head back to Shadowlands. Maldraxxus. And head towards the Burning Thicket. Oh, I already saw the thing light up. Okay, so that's where I am on the map. Make sure you have 3 buffs. If you don't, restart the game. And the launcher if you need to. So now I'm going to head to Pandaria. I'm just going to head to the next location, which is Vale of Eternal Blossoms. The next part requires a few items. One is the Yipsaron costume for your perky pug, which I didn't have, so I was planning on maybe buying one from the auction house, but it was 70k and I was not going to spend that amount of money on a costume. Thankfully, you don't have to have it yourself as long as someone within 10 yards of the Obelisk has it. You should be able to gain credit for it. The other 2 things are the Perky Pug and the Twitching Eyeball, which is a toy that you will hopefully have in your toy box. So make sure you have that on as well. It seems like they gave people a bit of a shortcut if you don't have 1 or 3 of the items. So before you actually do this, you have to make sure you're in the BFA version of the zone. So make sure you speak to this NPC if you're not. Then fly up to the very top of the palace. You can see I'm right here on the map. And you should now see this obelisk. So for the next part, if you have it, summon your perky pug. This is where you would put the Ypsiron costume on it if you have one.
Voya,
Oh my god. 70k. No, I'm not buying one for that much.
Goblin products built
Okay, well screw that. The third item you need is the twitching eyeball. Make sure you have that on as well. And then from there, it's just waiting until someone turns up with the pet and the costume. And then I did the pray emote when someone had the pet and the costume out. But it seems like if one person has all three items and they're in the right phase, then everyone within 10 yards will get credit.
I am grateful.
Whew. Okay, there is the Key of Shadows, finally. By the way, if you want another way to get to Kara, you can take the Dalaran Legion portal. And the portal should be at the back. So, why is this key important? Because it opens a couple of the doors. In this room. Oh, how cool. Those cubes. I once made a post about a possible pet with certain abilities. The list. Master Matthias Shaw. Oh, okay. It's a list of names, apparently. So it looks like we can fish out of this little bowl. Ooh, Astral Key. Very nice. Astral Key. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on. Ooh. Okay, so the key also unlocks this door. Below the red button. Ooh, nice. Okay, now the buff has dropped off. I'll head back to the first room. Starry-eyed goggles. See what you want to see. Oh, okay. Okay, one thing to note, when you unlock these consoles, make sure you grab the treasure that's right next to it. 8, 8, 2, 2, 4, 6, 4, 6. Oh, here's another one. No violence, please. Okay, so the rage area. Let's see. 1 9 0 1 9. Piece of hate. Got to unlock. Red button room is 1 0 6 3 8. Five, 6 6 1. Okay. Oh, this is a small one. Okay, this one should be 5 2 2 3 3. Five, 1 5 6 7. Holy. Feeling lucky. Oh, okay, there's one right here. That's sneaky. Let's try 1 1 5. Oh, there we go. For the 8th orb, it seems like you need 5 lucky charms. 5 might not be the lucky number, but that's what I used and what worked for me, as well as some other people. So I headed back to the auction house and bought the lucky charm, lucky rat's tooth. For some reason there are 2 lucky charms, so I bought one of each. There was also a lucky dragon claw. So these are the 4 items I bought from the auction house. A lucky charm, lucky dragon's claw, seemed to be the only one in there, for 9,900 gold. Lucky Rat's Tooth, and Lucky Charm. I'm also going to buy a 5th item from Grifter in Dornigal. Grifter seems to be around the portal to Azkahet. Oh, there he is.
Me got the good stuff, man.
Oh man, I should have just bought it from here. The Lucky Dragon's Claw. There should be a Totolan charm as well. Oh, that. Let's try that as well. Okay. Let's see what happens when I have 5 of the items. Alright. Put on my starry-eyed goggles. Okay. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Well, it says I feel quite lucky. I think it still might be random though. Seven, 7, 7. Oh, there we go. Only 3 7s. Maybe that's the trick. So now I see 8 little glowy orbs. The code to the final box should be 1, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 7. Oh, okay. Encrypted puzzle box on the table. And that makes 9. So you may be wondering why the 9 pieces of hate are important. In Booty Bay, there's a vendor that can be found inside this broken goblin statue. Once you're inside the statue, you can head to the back. You'll notice this vendor who sells only one particular item. Here we can use our 9 pieces of hate, but you'll notice there is one other item, the golden muffin. As you may recall, there was a vendor in Azuna that travels this road on the eastern side, and he sells an item we will need. Here he is right here. So on the last page, buy the Scroll of Fell Binding. Warlocks have an advantage here, but otherwise have a friend who can summon a Doomguard. Next you're going to head to the Eastern Kingdoms. If you're a Horde player, you can just head to Undercity. Once you enter the Western Plaguelands, you want to head towards Uther's tomb. Which is right here on the map, and then you're going to use the scroll to summon a Doomguard. Don't worry, dying will happen when you do that bit, but just run back to the tomb and then resurrect yourself. Okay, and now I can see the hidden graffiti on the ground. Make sure you click all 4 pieces of the hidden graffiti. The Doom Guard you summoned has to be alive for this, so make sure you don't kill him yet. If you're not sure if you have credit for them, there is a script you can run, which I'll paste in the description below. And thankfully it says true, which means I do. So if I go back to the catacombs, I should see an orb there, meaning I should be able to move on to the next pedestal. This next part does require a pet battle, so if you don't have too much experience in that, I will post some links to some videos that will help, including where you can buy some ultimate battle training stones, which will instantly increase your pet's level from 1 to 25.
Don't be shy.
For Horde, you can check out the vendor in the garrison once you've opened up your pet menagerie. This is the stone you're looking for. When you first open up the pet menagerie, which I'll link a video to that as well if you want an easy way to defeat the 3 pests, I'll link to that below in the description, because soon after that you will get an opportunity to get an ultimate battle training stone, which will instantly level one of your pets to level 25. The next part leads us back to the Timeless Isle, so I'm just going to take the Jade Forest portal. So the clue that led us to Jeremy Feasel in the Timeless Isle was actually an NPC called Feasel the Muffin Thief that was added during the Shadows of Argus patch. He now drops a timeless coin, which led people to the
Welcome.
Timeless Isle.
Travel safe.
When you're back on the Timeless Isle, you're going to head towards this cave, which is right here on the isle. Click on the skull. And then make sure you don't loot any chests, because you won't be able to click on the skull again. It will lock you out for the day. You just have to make your way to the end. Since I did this, they've actually added something inside the catacombs to make it easier for those who have been locked out for the day. If you click on the little ghostly cauldron on the stairs once you enter the catacombs, you should be able to run to the back of the cave again to battle Jeremy Feasel. And then you'll find, at least for pet battlers, a familiar NPC, which is Jeremy Feasel.
I got a bad feeling.
It's true, I hide here when the fair is out of town. There's just something wonderful about this place. Care to battle?
You wouldn't want to see me when I'm angry.
So for this part, you will need to use 3 secret pets. There are a number of pets that you can use. I'll add 3 different teams here, but the recommended ones do seem to be Spirighost, Nelthara, and the Wicker Pup. So I have guides to these. I will list them in the video description below if you don't have them. I also have a blog post that actually gives you some information on how to collect them as well. I tried a couple of the combos, but I decided to go with this team at the end. So today I'm going to be using Spirighost with Flame Breath, Deep Burn, Call Darkness, Next up is Nelthara with Stone Shot, Seer Magic, Rupture, and Tap Tap with Hoof, Pig Out, and Lick. So to start, I'm going to use Flame Breath. Deep Burn. Flame Breath. Again. Deep Burn. Bring in Nelthara. Use Rupture. Stone Shot. Again. One more. Remember, he is a mechanical, which means he will come back. But one more Stone Shot should do it. You can hit anything here, you will get stunned, but here's the important bit. You want to make sure Nelthara is stunned so you don't have a wasted turn. Bring in your final pet. Hoof. Pig Out. Lick. Pig Out. So you do have the advantage here since you're faster, so I'm going to hit him with Rupture. And Stone Shot. Okay, there we go. Now I see a quest.
Oi,
Master of Secrets.
watch your back.
And there you go, the golden muffin that we needed for a previous pedestal.
That's enough gabbing for me today.
Okay, so now you're back in Booty Bay. Head back to the vendor that we found before. Now with your 2 items, you should be able to buy the Relic of Crystal Connections. Beautiful. Now wait, that's not all. Now you want to head to Zul'Gurub. Which is in Northern Stranglethorn. You can see it over here. So when you're in Zul'Gurub, don't enter the instance. You want to go to 5 different altars within the zone. When you get here, you want to interact with all 5 altars using various items. So they could be pets, mounts, toys, or transmog. Okay, so it looks like this is one altar. I'm going to get my torch out. There we go. So this is the corrupt altar, which means that we need, let's see, some sort of corrupt mount. Let's try this one. Now, for a pet, hopefully I have all three. Corrupted blood, that should do it. And a toy. It said the Ring of Broken Promises should work here. Oh, there we go. So going clockwise, here's the next altar. Okay, so this one should be Sin, which means... Sinhard should work. Bondable Sinstone. And some sort of transmog. Oh, let's try one of these. Okay. Good thing I have a transmog thing with me. Back. Sinstone. There we go. Another clue. Next up. This one should be Shadow. Let's go for another back. So it should be any cloak that shares the appearance with Cloak of the Black Void. I don't know what that looks like, but I assume it looks like this one. I'm not sure if that one will work, but let's try it. That's the Obsidian Flecked Cape. And then for the toy... Shadowy Disguise. Whoa. Oh. Hang on, I only needed 2 for that. Okay, well if it worked. And then this one... This is Blood. Hit. Blood. Blood Boil. That looks like a good one. Toy. Blood. Blood Main Charm. Okay, let's try the mount again. So something with blood. Bloodbath. That should work. There we go. Yep. Okay, so I didn't realize at the time, but I got credit just because I was in the vicinity of someone else getting credit for theirs. But I ended up doing it anyway, just in case you guys need to do it yourselves. Since this one is a succubus, it makes sense that we use the matching pet. That one there. Boy. Steamy romance novel kit. And a transmog. Oh, something that's hidden. There were some boots, right? Some troll boots. Oh, pure sight slippers. Let's try that. Feet. Moros's famous polish. That should also work. So once you've interacted with all 5 altars, you should notice this chest at the back. Chest of acquisitions. Ancient Shaman blood. Okay, well some people are saying you need the Starry goggles to see it, but I could see it without using them, so if you don't see it, then try using the goggles. Okay, so from here I'm going to head back to Kara. Okay, so once you're back in the catacombs, you're going to use the item you just picked up. For Orb 7, there will be 2 parts to this. You're going to head to the Isle of Watchers in Legion. Next, you'll want to get your fledgling Warden Owl out. To get this pet, you need to be revered with the Wardens.
Ishnu Allah.
The pet can be picked up from this vendor here, Marin
Be
Bladewing,
careful.
located right here by the Flightmaster,
Hello.
for 400 gold, which isn't too bad.
Belnadus.
There are 11 owl statues located all around the isle. At certain times they will be lit up in 4 different colors, either red, purple, green, and blue. So all you have to do is find one that is lit up by one of these colors. Make sure you have your owl out until it flies around in a circle around the statue. Once you have all 4 colors lit up, your owl will be empowered and you'll notice that it has a little glowy orb above its head. Okay, got the clue for this one. Oh, I can see his blue now. If you get the message you can't do that yet, you just have to find another statue. As I said before, you only need 4 of the colors. There we go. It's dancing around the red one. I ended up getting 2 of my colors of the same statue. So now you can see this time my owl is empowered. To continue Pillar 7, you're going to head to the Vault of the Wardens. Let me warn you though, this one is going to be a real doozy. When you enter the dungeon, you clear your way through until you fight the final boss. Make sure you click the orb that's on the platform where the final boss is before you engage him, because you will need that for the next bit. And don't dilly-dally in the dungeon, because traps will be laid on the ground that will make you lose the orb, and you'll probably have to clear the dungeon again. And then while you still have the orb, you're going to make your way back up. Back to the start of the dungeon. When you're past the first boss's room, you're going to turn right. And now you should see this statue on the floor. Pick that up. If you can't see the statue, make sure your little empowered owl is out, otherwise you probably won't see it. And then you're going to head back to Glazer's room. When you're back in this room, you're going to place the statue down. Click the statue, prepare the startup sequence. And so I wasn't quite sure what I had to do at first, but essentially you have to lower all the statues so they're all below the ground. The thing is, when you click one of the statues, it affects 4 others, which is why you need to be sure which statue affects which other tiles. So for this part, I definitely needed help. So I found out that there is an add-on that you can use to help track all the tiles and which ones affect which statues. So the add-on is called Statue Solver. I got mine from Curse. And then you have to mark all the statues that are currently up. So for me, that is 16, 21, 22, 17, 12, 2, 23, 18, 8, 24, 19, 14, and 5. So from here you need to map which owls change when you click on each statue. So to bring up the other grid, you just right click on whatever tile you want to change. So I'm going to start at number 2. When I click on number 2, I need to see which ones have changed. So I'm going to run back to the starting position. And so that one on the end disappeared. "12" also disappeared. 19 disappeared. And 25 has appeared. And so once you've done that, you click confirm, and then you do exactly the same thing with the other tiles. And since now my map has changed a little bit, I have to rematch it back to what I can see. So those two are the same. That one's now missing. Number 2 is no longer there. That row is the same. That one is now missing. And that one is now there. So even though I was watching the tiles and I always run back to my starting position, I found it helpful to actually record each tile being moved. So if you can do that, I highly recommend doing it as well, because 4 tiles do move rather fast and it's sometimes hard to keep track of which ones go up and which ones go down. It also helps you double check the grid. But if you don't have access to recording software, then I would suggest taking a screenshot before you make any moves and then comparing it afterwards. Okay, so this one has disappeared. That one has disappeared. That one has disappeared. So in the end, I ended up recording all my moves and then positioning myself in a way that I could see all the statues either going down or coming back up. So you just have to keep mapping every single tile until everyone is mapped. You'll be able to see which ones are mapped because they will have a red outline around the tile. And then if you're not sure whether you've actually done a tile or not, you can just hover over it and you should see some yellow boxes come up on the other side. It does take a while to map every single one, but it is definitely worth it, and you shouldn't have to change more than 4 tiles for each one. If you do get more than 4, then I would just suggest double checking that one. You really have to do this yourself though, because if you come in and place your statue down, you'll likely see a different setup to mine. So don't think you can come in here and just copy my solution and it will work for you, because no, it won't quite work that way. You also want to make sure that you do finish this all in one go, because I learnt the hard way that I placed my statue down, but then I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to do with them. So I logged out to check it out because I heard there was also an add-on, and then once I came back I had to do everything all over again. And by that I mean clearing the dungeon, collecting the orb, and then coming back up, etc. So I've heard you can do it in a group, however, only the person who places the statue will get credit. So just be aware of that. So you may find yourself in the same predicament as me. So when I got down to my last two, I found that the statue that I needed was not above the ground. So you just have to hover over each tile until you can see which tile affects the one you're looking for, and then bring that tile back up. Okay, so now that I've finally mapped all the grids, I need to match all the statues with what I have. Going to click solve. You'll notice the solution is actually pasted into your chat, so I actually referred to that as well as the add-on itself. So when I go through the solution, I refer to both sides of the add-on and the chat to make sure I'm clicking on the right tile. So when you look at the add-on, you can see the numerical sequence from 1 to 7. That's why I referred to both the chat and the add-on itself. And when I call out the numbers, I'm calling out the grid number and not what I see in the yellow boxes. $19. $6. $7. $16. Oh my god, it worked! Finally I got it! Oh my gosh. Thank you to the add-on maker, you are a legend. I can close this now. I'm afraid to close it after spending all this time in there. Treasure of the Wardens. Warden's Mirror. Oh my gosh, this took ages, but I am so glad that is finally done. Following on from yesterday, you're going to use the item that you picked up in the dungeon, the Warden's Mirror, and then insert it into this Enigma machine. That is the second item that you need to activate it. Once you do that, you can start the puzzle for Pillar 8. And so now it should be active. There we go. The contraption hums with energy. There appear to be 7 locked mechanisms. Pull the begin lever. So when you begin the puzzle, a couple of things will happen. You'll notice all these platforms have now lit up. They've all been activated. And a number of rats will appear. There will actually be 2 types of rats. So the ones that you normally see in the catacombs are called catacomb rats, and the ones specific to the puzzle are just called Ratt. So they're the important ones. I'm going to list a macro that will become very, very helpful. in locating where the rats are that you need to kill. So essentially, when you begin the puzzle, a number of these rats will spawn. You need to locate where they all are in the catacombs and kill them. So depending on how many rats appear, you will have to refer to this table to tell you how many statues to drag onto a specific plate. So you'll notice that when the rats run over the platforms, it actually lights up. That's what you don't want, because it can trigger a false positive. And if you get it wrong, you'll get zapped and have to start again. You also want to make sure you remove the statues from each platform after you complete a lock. Otherwise, you will fail again. So as soon as you hit begin, you're going to start counting rats. Here's where the macro comes in. Two. 3. 4. 'When you've checked and double checked the number of rats you've killed, you can refer to the table. And remember, you want to kill any catacomb rats that run over any of the plates, because you don't want to trigger a fail. So for the first lock, since I killed 4 rats, that means I need to drag 1 statue onto platform 4. Okay, that's 1 done. Once you successfully do 1 lock, then you can just start counting rats again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight. 9. 'Double checking. Okay. So 9 at lock 2. 3 on P4. Need one more. Submit. Okay, great. That is 2 for 2. By the way, if you find a rat inside this crystal room, you need to target the crystal inside and then use your crystal relic of crystal connections to get inside. You get teleported inside essentially. Now let's try targeting the rat again. There we go. So that's 2. Get out of the room. Target the crystal above the arch. There we go. And then the same thing if you have to drag any statues inside the room to P3. Click it again to drop the rope. Teleport outside. And then test the lock. Oh, nice. Okay. So you just keep doing that until you complete all 7 locks. Okay, looks like the final one is 3 for lock 7. So 3 for lock 7 is 1 on P1. Make sure there aren't any rats around these plates because you don't want it mucking up your results. Hopefully this is it. Yay, I got it! Oh! Yay! Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I just realized that the enigmatic door is now open. Oh wow. Ooh. Okay, so this is maybe for pillar 9. So after we had unlocked pillar 8, People were stumped for just over 2 weeks trying to figure out what the console code was for the one that had just been discovered in Ratt's little cave in Azkahet. But I woke up and it has finally been discovered. At this point, I don't think a lot of people really care how the number came up, but they just want to input it into the console to collect their mounts. So here we go. Okay, as a refresher, you want to head back in this direction up here. That's where I am, just past the siege hold. Then you're going to head back into this hole. And then make your way back into this secret hole. When you're back here, you're going to put on your starry-eyed goggles. Now you can see there's a platform up there. And so there's a humming crystal, which you will use your Relic of Crystal Connections to get up onto the platform. Once you're up here, you'll notice another console and a locked encrypted chest. So what you need to do for this console is to input a number 848470778. You'll see the little magnifying glass. Now the encrypted chest is unlocked. And check that out. We now have the mount and the achievement. So now when you head back to Kara, you should see another orb lit up. Ooh. You'll also know that the cat room has now been unlocked. There's a potion of truth. Bees, Milo, and gin. Ooh, okay, this gate has been opened as well. And there we go. That's not quite what I was expecting. So yes, we have 9 o'clock with the golden orb, and these three have lit up in a different color. So what does that mean? If you open the spellbook, you'll notice a new little button for the override sequence. So for these last 3 shadow orbs, it looks like there are 3 override functions that we need to input into the bike to unlock them. As to what the numbers are, we do not know at the moment. So if you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.